I'm going to show you how to change a hub and bearing assembly. This is on a 2001 Oldsmobile van, but it's common to find a front wheel bearing with a hub and bearing and ABS all in one. So that's what we're doing on this video here, and you can see the hub assembly right here. There's another angle of it. They sell for somewhere around 80, well, it depends. A cheap one you can get for $80. The more expensive ones are around $250. So it depends which one you want and if you shop around. So we're going to show you how to remove it. It's a very simple procedure. It goes quite fast. Even for your first time, you shouldn't have much trouble if you're mechanically inclined. This is the van that we're doing. And here we've got the tire off. So take the tire off, put it on a jack, get it off the ground, get a jack stand underneath it, and I would suggest starting by taking off the caliper with the brake pads all in one. So you can just see the caliper bolts right at the top here. I'll try to find it right there. Oops. There's one on the top and one on the bottom, and that's the bolts that you'll take out. This is the rotor. If there's no bolt holding this on to the hub, you can just pull that assembly off all in one, and that's what I've done here. The caliper is still on with the brake pads on the rotor. I just hung it up on the strut, and I used a plastic zip tie on the top to tie it out of the road. You don't want to put pressure on the brake line and hurt the brake line, so I'd suggest something like this. This is a top view of the hub, and right here, I'll try to find it, you can see a little bolt. I forget what size they are. I think they're 15, and they might be 13, but somewhere around there. There's 3 of them that hold the hub on. Once you loosen them, you'll need a big deep socket. This here is a number 32 socket that I use to get it that fits. Here is the hub assembly off, and you can see the 3 bolts that hold this on. You'll need to loosen off and unhook your ABS sensor as well, and make sure you watch the way that this links through. That ABS wire goes through the hub. There's a plate on it. Pay attention to that part. We're going to come to it in a minute. I used an air impact to take mine off. You might have to use a bar and flex bar and some supporting bar. I don't know what you'll have, but I use the air gun. Now when you pull this out, you see how your ABS line is sticking out there? That goes through here. Now this is a loose plate that your ABS hooks onto at the back, and that goes on the inside. So make sure you watch when you unclip it. There's a spruce tree plug that holds this onto this plate to keep it out of the road or getting torn or damaged. And this plate, of course, sits over the 3 bolt holes, and that ABS wire goes on the inside and through. So you have to unclip the spruce tree plug plus unclip the plug that holds this together. So just pay attention to that going through. And may I also point out, I did not do this fancy grease job. Might have to make a video sometime on how to properly grease a vehicle. Now you slid your new ABS back in, you've done up the 3 bolts, you're putting your caliper back on, you have your rotor back on. Drive it outside, and you just might want to check to make sure that there is no play in that wheel before you take it off the jack. And then when you get it outside, I've got a long flex bar. I just put it on and checked to make sure it was tight. There are different torque settings for each vehicle. You'll want to look it up on your manual to see what the torque is. So this job is very easy to do. It's very straightforward. The toughest part you probably have is undoing the CV joint shaft nut and the input axle nut. And you know, if you can get that undone, it's pretty straightforward. The other thing is you might have to tap on the CV axle to get it loose from the hub. As you saw, mine was quite rusty, so yours may be as well. Make sure you don't damage the threads. You might have to use a little bit of WD-40 or whatever you use for loosening rusted things. And that's how simple and easy it is to change a front hub on these vehicles nowadays. So let me know how it went for you, and thanks for watching, and hope you liked it.